if compulsive gambling is not a sickness? What if heroin is not addictive? What if a happy person is more resistant to addiction? If everything we thought we knew about addiction is wrong, what happens then? What opportunities would that bring? What would it mean to you? It's time to shake your view of addiction. Some people might get offended. This video could be perceived as challenging. But it is created to give you a new perspective of what addiction is and how you can get rid of it. Give us a few minutes, and we will tell you about the secret of the cage. The general idea of addiction. Addiction may develop when the body becomes addicted to a chemical substance like heroin, nicotine, alcohol, or dopamine. Does it feel familiar? Where does it come from? What is the secret of the cage? During the 1950s, scientists made experiments on mice. Each mouse was put in a shoebox-sized cage. Then the mouse got two choices of water. One water bottle had fresh, clean water. The other bottle contained water spiked with heroin. In a few days, all mice preferred the spiked water. Soon the mice stopped eating and stayed in a constantly intoxicated. The result, all mice died either from starvation or by an overdose. The researchers concluded that heroin is highly addictive. So addictive that the mice lost all will to do anything but being high. During the worst days of the Vietnam War, hundreds of thousands of American soldiers took heroin to prevail all horrors. In the US, the authorities feared that the American streets soon would be crowded by heroin addicts. But it never happened. At arrival, 95% of the soldiers stopped taking heroin as if they had never done it. They suffered for sure from terrifying nightmares, but they never again touched heroin. How could they just stop? Did you know that if your grandmother breaks her leg and gets hospitalized, she will be injected by pure heroin? Heroin is commonly used as a painkiller. You might know it under a different name, morphine. If your grandmother is treated by morphine for 3 weeks, she should, by all logic, become addicted. But she will not. Why? There is something that is not right here. The same thoughts Professor Bruce Alexander at Vancouver University had in the 1970s. Perhaps it's not the drug that's the problem. Maybe it's the cage. If you had been forced into an extremely tight space, alone, and with nothing else to do than to choose between regular water and something that made you feel like that first mouse with wings, what would you have chosen then? Professor Bruce Alexander redesigned the experiment. He created the Rat Park, a heaven for mice, where there were a lot of cheese, wheels, toys, and other mice to play with. Then he presented the mice with the same two water options. Now the peculiar happened. None of the mice preferred the spiked water. Sure, they might have taken an occasional zip or two, but none of them showed any symptoms of addiction. None of them died. The changed cage cut the death rate from 100% to 0. Bruce Alexander concluded that it's not that heroin that is addictive. It was the cage that forced the mice to use it to escape their mundane reality. What does your cage look like? In the next video, we will help you find out. First, we will visit a country which is almost as cheese crazy as the craziest mouse, Switzerland. In the 1990s, Switzerland had huge problems with heroin addiction. To counteract the problem, the government legalized heroin and opened clinics where the addicts could get free, clean heroin. The good stuff, not some crap from the street. Each person could determine his daily dose. After their heroin dose in the morning, each addict went to work. Yeah, here's one of the keys. In addition to pure heroin, the addicts got someplace to live and a job. Again, something peculiar happened. Most of the addicts started to lower their doses. Many quit completely. The deaths from overdose dropped to almost 0. By stopping shaming the addicts and creating new meaning in life for the addicts, the demand for heroin disappeared. To be sober did suddenly feel more tempting than being intoxicated. This is the key. Our definition of addiction. Pain is the cause of addiction. When the reality is too painful, we look for a way to escape. We become addicted to the escape, not of the means used to accomplish that. Let's repeat it. Pain is the cause of addiction. When the reality is too painful, we look for a way to escape. We become addicted to the escape, not of the means used to accomplish that. What does your cage look like? What does your reality look like? The cage might have invisible bars. Do the happiness test on quitgamble.com to find out more.